The Justice League. So many iconic comic book characters on a super elite team. You got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Green Lantern, Cyborg, Captain Atom, and the list goes on and on. But like any other comic book team, you have your worst members. Characters no one even remembers or have no idea these characters were even created. So in no particular order, here's 8 Justice League members that I think were the worst. Number 1. Faith. When the main members of the Justice League got transported thousands of years in the past, Batman had a backup team of superheroes put together just in case stuff like this happened. Faith was one of those superheroes chosen. Yeah, Batman recommended her. Her powers mostly consisted of telepathy and telekinesis, and she emitted an aura of trust and confidence, allowing anyone around her to work as a group more easily. She was a team player. Her powers were lame, and she was a boring character. I guess the fans did not have faith in her, except Batman. Number 2. Bloodwin. This guy was confusing to read about. In order to add diversity to the Justice League, this guy was created. But anyways, his main power came from a gem called the Blood Gem, which gave him the power to know where death has occurred. Something called a sentence there, which is basically intimidation, flight, superhuman strength, teleportation, blah blah blah. But what makes him confusing was how he joined the Justice League. Bloodwin was actually trapped in the Blood Gem, and a villain named Rot mind-controlled the Martian Manhunter into wearing the Blood Gem and impersonating Bloodwin. Superman and Blue Beetle realized Bloodwin was a mind-controlled Martian Manhunter and freed him from Rot's control, and they also freed Bloodwin. But at that point nobody cared about the character, and I have a headache. Number 3. Black Condor. Originally appearing in his own comic book series was Ryan Kendall, the Black Condor. He had a unique physiology because his grandfather experimented on him. Using genetic engineering performed by his grandfather, Ryan Kendall was given strong doses of radiation as an unborn child. He also had the ability of flight, had a healing factor, and telekinesis. He was an unoriginal, unappealing character to even have his own comic book series. So to boost his series sales, comic book writers put him in the Justice League, and just like his comic book series, his time in the Justice League faded away and forgotten. Number 4. Aztec. This guy had the potential to be a great superhero, considering the fact that one of his creators was superstar comic book writer Grant Morrison. His main power came from his magical battlesuit. The battlesuit enhanced his human abilities and gave him the power of flight and interstellar travel. He was raised from childhood by a secret group calling themselves the Q Society. After his training with the Q Society was finished, he moved to America and joined the Justice League. He later quit the Justice League because he found out that one of the benefactors of the Q Society was Lex Luthor. The Justice League really didn't need him. He was mostly sent on low-level missions for the League. He was ultimately killed off when he sacrificed himself to allow Superman a chance to destroy an old god by the name of Megidon. Number 5. Mystic. Mystic's main power was energy manipulation. She joined the Justice League when Martian Manhunter offered her a spot on the team. She only lasted a few issues, and I will tell you why. Not long after joining the Justice League had a mission in outer space. So they traveled in a cramped spaceship, and apparently Mystic was claustrophobic. Within 2 days, she had a meltdown and blasted her way out of the spaceship and into open space. She suffocated and died, and that was the story of Mystic, the claustrophobic Justice League member. Number 6. Triumph. Originally created to be a founding member of the Justice League of America, he had the ability to control the electromagnetic spectrum. Fans didn't like this character because he was just too plain and dull, and since he was a founding member of the JLA, he was on the same level as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Yeah, fans weren't buying that. That's just like me buying a Honda Civic and taking all the logos off and replacing them with BMW logos and calling it a BMW. He was later recreated as a bitter recluse, selling off JLA souvenirs. And Grant Morrison reworked him as a villain at one point. Man, there was a lot of hate towards Triumph. Number 7. Maxima. She was first a villain back in the late 80s. Her powers consisted of force fields, psychic blast, telekinesis, and flight. Maxima was the queen of planet Almerac. She came to Earth looking for a suitable mate. She chose Superman. She eventually joined the Justice League and proved herself a somewhat worthy member, but she was mostly there to flirt with Superman and have sex with him. That's it. She came from another planet to try to get laid by Superman. Number 8. General Glory. Who does this character remind you of? Yup, DC tried to make a parody of Captain America from Marvel. Minus the Captain America shield, he had the same powers as Captain America. He even had a sidekick named Ernie that parodied Bucky. And I think DC even tried to copy some of his stories. DC tried to make him funny, and then DC tried to make him a more serious character. So General Glory went from being a parody with a few laughs here and there, to then being a straight knockoff of Captain America. But then again, Marvel did the same thing with Deadpool and Deathstroke. So that's my 8 worst Justice League members. If you know any more, I would love to hear it from you guys. Leave them in the comments below, and subscribe, and until next time viewers, aloha!